Psychokinesis is a natural side effect of self-mastery. Via empathy with a target, the proper mindset, and the use of one's natural subtle energy, we can achieve non-local interaction with objects, elements, people, plants, and more. If you would like to experience this phenomenon firsthand, please subscribe to this channel and join us now as Trebor Seven continues his quest to demystify psychokinesis.
Sacred Supplements is a family-owned and operated business established in 2015. We specialize in creating all-natural supplements that deliver supernatural benefits. Surpass the limits of modern medicine using the magic-like properties of monoatomic elements found in our one-of-a-kind, supercharged Ormus elixirs, Logos, Messiah, and Magi. Avoid toxic pharmaceuticals using the time-tested and medically proven healing powers of colloidal copper and colloidal silver, broad-spectrum remedies created to perfection and made with love. Enjoy the amazing detoxifying and energizing effects of Sacred Soleil, an affordable, all-natural, refillable energy drink with over 80 ionic minerals, plus electrolytes and loads of pure solar energy. Visit sacredsupplements.com today to order or to learn how to create these sacred gifts for your mind, body, and spirit. Hello and welcome. It is 7 p.m., January 7th, 2025. Happy New Year, y'all. So this is going to be a pretty chill stream. Just going to kind of recap what happened in 2024 on a macro version and on a micro version, as in with me in particular. And got a few videos to share. If we have any spare time, we might just go browse some TK videos. But first, let me get rid of that, add this. Snowfall. Yeah, so it's like 14 degrees here. It's supposed to get down to 1 or 0 tonight. We got about 9 to 10 inches of snow on the ground out there. So we are in the heart of winter. January and February in northern Missouri is pretty rough sometimes. I always say it's just rough enough to keep the wimps out of our state. Let's pop over to the chat Rooski and see if anybody's even watching. If somebody could give me a thumbs up or 5x5 or something, let me know that the video and audio is working. I'd really appreciate that. Who we got? We got Psychic Couple. Yes. Okay. I'm not sure what the yes means. The audio and video is working, I guess, maybe. I don't know. This person says, hi, guys. Hello and welcome. Thanks for being here. Alexis gives us the 5x5. Thanks, man. Everything's working good. Got a few live watchers. Gonna go back over here. All right. So, the year in recap. So back in January, the Chiefs won the Super Bowl. Woo! Just like a hop, skip, and a jump away from Kansas City. So it's kind of like my home team winning the Super Bowl. That was kind of cool. Let's go take a little look at this. We'll just watch like one play or something. I'm not a big football guy. I watch like, 2 or 3 videos a year or something, like the playoff and then the Super Bowl. That's about it. But we'll take a little quick glance at that since we're just kind of goofing off here. If I can remember how to do all this. Share screen. And whoa, what happened? What happened to my share screen? Oh, there it is. Okay, and share. And let me see if it's showing up over here. Voila. Let me make it bigger. Do. And let me change the settings to a higher. Dig-a-ding. And all good? All good. All right, here we go. Here's a little bit of last year's Super Bowl.
Not a big deal now unless you don't get it. Go up top. Mahomes cradles it and goes down to the 13-yard line.
Yeah.
Can only feel the number of people out there being like, what's going on? First and goal. Mahomes flings it. It's there! Hardman! Jackpot, Kansas City!
There you have that. Yeah, KC wins the Super Bowl. That was in January. I'm just kind of winging this, guys. So put your most memorable moments of 2024 in the chat, be it globally or locally or personally or whatever. It doesn't really matter. Then in April, we had the old Eclipse Rooski. Remember that? Let's go take a look at that. I found a short that's just real sweet. Oh, shoot. Nope. Stop. Yeah, cancel that. I put it in the wrong link. We about lost the stream there, guys. Let's put it in this one. There we go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Whoa, it's right. Is that cool or what? A total eclipse. That is pretty awesome. I have to say.
Wow, look at Venus.
That is too cool for school. Eclipse. Let me know in the chat if any of you guys got to see the eclipse. I didn't really get to see it. Watched a lot of videos of it. Here's the weird thing about the eclipse. They say it's the moon occulting the sun. However, No one's ever seen the moon approach or leave the sun during an eclipse. To me, and this is just my theory, the sun we see is just a projection from outside of the firmament. And that's why it's apparent, as in when you stand at the edge of the water, you have a line going to you to the sun. But someone else standing at the edge of the water a few feet away, they have their own line going to the sun. It's an apparent thing, kind of like the moon. You ever like looked at the moon, like say, like when you're leaving your driveway, the moon is lined up with your driveway. Then you drive about 3 miles this way and you get in a driveway and it's lined up with that driveway. Like, how can that be? It's because it's apparent. It's not like it's a physical thing up there in the sky. I think that's why we all get confused on that sort of thing. Anyway, just my my own theory. I can't prove it. I can't disprove it. So, then what else happened? Ooh, this was a big one. Remember this?
A historic new era in Mexico, as Claudia Sheinbaum was sworn in as the nation's first female president. Sheinbaum, a 62-year-old climate scientist and a former mayor of Mexico City, started her 6-year term addressing a room of more than 100 high-profile invitees, including U.S. First Lady Jill Biden.
Yep, that happened. And then this happened.
And you know, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Remember that? Now that seems so weird to me. I mean, a sniper with the perfect location evades the security, and despite the fact that everyone was screaming, "Hey, there's a dude on the roof over here," he still managed to get off a bunch of shots. And the amazing part is he missed. Or I don't know, supposedly clipped his ear. I don't know. The whole thing seemed crooked as a barrel of snakes to me. But whatever. There was that. The Trump assassination attempt. That was quite the ordeal. I remember when that was all over the news, and then quickly disappeared, and his ear healed up quicker than anyone's ever been healed. Oh, and then we had the trauma, the traumatic, possibly one of the worst storms. Hurricane Helene battered the southeastern U.S., killed like 230 people in North Carolina or something, and just left billions and billions of dollars worth of damage. That was horrific. I've got a few friends that live up that way, and man, my hearts went out to them.
This is an unprecedented storm, and it's causing us to have an unprecedented response.
This is the city of Asheville in the western mountains of North Carolina, 2,000 feet above sea level and hundreds of miles away from the nearest coastline. But such was the force of Hurricane Helene that nowhere in its path was safe.
We are surging search and rescue teams to help rescue people who are still stranded but can't communicate because cell phone service is down.
As many as 600 people are still on the missing list as search teams fan out across the state, navigating the worst flooding to hit the region in a century, with thousands of downed trees, power and mobile outages, and hundreds of closed roads.
It's indescribable. I don't know, it just was covered in litter and trees and mud, and it's stinky, and it was all the way up the street up here. It just looks like the bottom of a river.
And this is the surface of Lake Lure, an hour below the mountains of Asheville, now an apocalyptic stew of rubble and debris after Helene ripped through the state, unleashing torrential downpours and catastrophic mudslides.
Can you imagine? It's so easy to watch this stuff on the news, but imagine if that was your house right there. What if that was your house? That's a big deal. And as soon as the news story goes away, you know, a lot of people quit thinking about it. These people are still dealing with the aftermath of this horrific storm.
Killing 47 in North Carolina alone so far, and more than 115 in total since last Thursday. That's when Helene first made landfall on Florida's Gulf Coast as the most powerful hurricane, a Category 4, ever to hit the so-called Big Bend region before tearing northeast through Georgia, the Carolinas, and Tennessee. Homes were swept away in the storm that
That's a house floating by here. By the way, a house.
had been a Category 1 just the day before. But in a now all too familiar tale, Helene picked up massive amounts of energy from the unusually warm Gulf waters, exacerbated, scientists say, by climate change. The result was a 350-mile wide, devastating storm with wind speeds up to 140 miles an hour at their peak.
And have you reached out to President Biden about federal relief efforts?
No, I haven't reached out to him. No, I think he's sleeping right now.
Anyway, that was a bad deal. Terrible deal. And a shout out to all the people who were affected by that storm, man. Wish I could do more for you. Thoughts and prayers. That's all we can do. What else happened in 2024? Help me out, guys, in the chat if you can think of something I'm overlooking here. We had that whole thing in Syria, I guess, where the rebels overtook the Syrian capital of Damascus, started a new government. Don't have a clip for that one. What else? Seems like there was a lot more stuff. I don't know anything about celebrities or movies or music or any of that stuff anymore, really. So I'm sure there was a lot that happened in that arena that I'm not talking about. In the flat earth world, we had a big happening late in the year. The trip to Antarctica. This is the first really clean picture we have of the 24-hour sun in Antarctica. This is a time lapse. Austin Whitsitt and Jaron Campanella and several other people went down to Antarctica to finally put an end to this debate as to whether or not there is a 24-hour sun. And sure enough, there is. Now, does this change my thoughts on cosmology? No, the Earth's still flat. I mean, it measures flat, tests flat, looks flat, can't detect the motion. I mean, I'm just basing it solely on proof. And whatever happens in the sky has nothing to do with the lay of the terrestrial land. So all this did was make flat Earth more interesting to me. I mean, that's fascinating. Now, could this be a reflection off the dome? I don't know. I think the image would be reversed and look like the sunspots all lined up. So that's not really a good explanation. Could the celestial objects be beyond our understanding? Yes. Could the creator be smarter than us and we can't figure it out? Yes. So I think it's cool. I think it's another piece of the puzzle, but calling it the final experiment was pretty stupid. I mean, why not the first adventure or I don't know. That's just a terrible name for it because it's not final proof of anything really. And the sun looks odd. It looks like it kind of squishes and stuff. I don't know. Just pay attention to the size of the sun. And it seems like it kind of squishes and like that. See, that looks flat. Oh, that's an egg. That looks weird to me. So that just goes to show us all this stuff in the sky is just apparent optical stuff. I think it's spiritual. Above the land is spiritual. So we're never going to fully understand it. But kudos to these guys. That's awesome. And they were all worried about, how cold it's going to be and everything. But really, this was a summer in Antarctica. So it wasn't that bad. I guarantee the conditions outside my door are far harsher than what they dealt with in Antarctica today. It's supposed to go down to 0 tonight, So I don't think they had to experience anything quite that extreme. But anyway, hats off to them guys, man. I appreciate you guys going and doing that. And that was a big, big deal for the flat Earth community. Let me pop back over and see if there's any more comments because we are just winging it. Hey, and a shout out to my coworker, Mike, who swapped days with me so I could be here with you fine ladies and gentlemen this evening. Normally I would be working till about midnight tonight, but I was able to trade places with my buddy Mike, and yeah, so here I am. Let's see, we got some new comments. Doodly-doo. Is this Josie or Jose? I'm not sure how you say that. That is not experiment. It's only an observation. Exactly. Yeah. Very true. But a very well needed observation. We've gone all these years and there's no legitimate footage of the 24-hour sun in Antarctica. So glad they did it. Don't cry for me, Antarctica. Yeah. Lord Racer says Antarctica may be the final experiment, but it's made in an Amazon basement. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, you're making a Chili Peppers reference. Lord Racer also says, make Antarctica great again. Yeah, very cool. All right. Hey, thanks for you guys for being here, man. I really appreciate you guys being here and hanging out with me. Let's see. I think that's it on the Mac. It seems like I'm missing something. What was the other big event of 2024? Seems like I'm missing something, but anyway, there's some highlights, some things that I remember from my recollection. In terms of myself, I was featured in a book called Becoming Psychic, which I happen to have a copy of right here. Let's get rid of this. Make me a little bigger so I can share this. There you go. Jeff Tarrant, Becoming Psychic. Learn lessons from the minds of mediums, healers, and psychics. Jeff Tarrant, which also features yours truly. I think I got, what do we got here? I saved it. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So this was really the results of a conversation I had with him online. Stop screen. And that video is available on my channel. And we're going to take just a little quick look at this. Share screen. Or am I sharing? Yes, I am. Make it bigger. Push play. I don't know.
Today to be starting this conversation.
A few hiatuses in there. Little few distractions here and there, but I try to keep the uploads frequent enough. Anyway, this video is available in entirety on my channel. We're just going to watch a couple minutes of it. I'm trying to find out. It's time-stamped here. So how I discovered TK. How does telekinesis work? Yeah, I don't know how telekinesis works. Let's go see what I said to that. Let's watch that. We're going to watch this for like a minute or two.
And so that leads me to one of the questions that I've thought about, because, you know, I've looked at some other people who, you know, are engaged in similar things, right? Like I'm sure you've seen Carolyn Corey's work and her documentary that she came out with a few years ago. I forget it was called Supernatural. No, is that what it's called? Supernatural? No, I can't think of what it is. Anyway, you know, she's got kind of a telekinesis kind of aspect to what she does and what she showed in this documentary. And so she's got her own kind of angle and approach. So one of the questions that I had was, do you feel like the ability to move things with your mind, or, and it's not even just moving things, right? Because I've also seen you like snuff out matches and things like that, right? So, so do you feel like that is actually sort of this energy, this sort of like chi energy that you're moving, or does it feel like it's mental and you're using your hands to kind of help that feeling, or is it?
So I put a link in the chat. You can buy the book. It's like $15 on Amazon. And if you're into this paranormal type of stuff, it's a good way to support people researching this. I mean, this guy's a legit PhD, and he's looking into it. He used my tutorial to help him learn telekinesis and stuff. And it should be, you know, a back and forth between practitioners and people who are exploring this sort of thing. So if we can support them by doing something as simple as buying a book, which is a pretty good read. I enjoyed the book. I'm just a small portion of the book, but I enjoyed reading what the other psychics and mediums and stuff had shared. And you can see there's some commonality between all these techniques and stuff. So it's very educational, entertaining, and pretty affordable. Check it out. But I think it's a 3-part thing. I have a little recipe. I call it empathy, mindset, and energy. And my strategy is I'll do energy work to get my internal energy all ramped up. I'm a pretty big fan of transcendental meditation after that, just to get the mind cleared and slowed down. I also do, it's called microcosmic breathing. That really gets things cranked up. I even mess with the Wim Hof. Have you heard of him? The Iceman.
Yep.
Mess with that. That'll get your, that'll make you dizzy and stuff too, but that will really ramp your chi up. So I would get this internal energy all ramped up and then slow my brain waves way down. And then I would just use empathy with the target to make the connection. And the rest of it just seems autonomic almost, I mean, or automatic. It doesn't seem like I'm actually doing it. I'm not fully in control. I mean, I am to some degree, but it still to this day often feels accidental. But it's not, I hear a lot of people describe telekinesis as moving things with your mind, but I think the mind is just a small part of it, or an important part of it, a third of it, you know, like empathy, mindset, energy. But not until I get everything balanced and stuff do things really start working for me. And after you exercise this, it kind of seems like a muscle that you're not used to using. It opens up other things. Like I got into the extrasensory perception, remote viewing. All these psychic abilities seem to be interconnected somehow. They're, you know, different applications, but somehow connected with this right frame of mind, the energy ramped up, and keeping your emotions and thoughts subdued to a degree. I always tell people it works in the low beta to upper alpha range. I, of course, have no way of knowing that for certain.
We can measure
it seems
that.
like if it seems like if I'm, the reason he's kind of chuckling is he and I had made arrangements. He was in St. Joe, Missouri, and we had made arrangements for me to come and do telekinesis hooked up to his biofeedback machine there in his office at my leisure. You know, I didn't want to make an appointment. I didn't want it to be, oh, you have to be here at this time, and then we're going to do this and that. I said I want it to be just casual. I just walk in, and if you're not busy, we'll hook up the machine, and I'll try to move some foil. No big deal. I'm not going to record it. We're not going to make a big deal out of it because I know how it works. If you put a bunch of hype on it and you put some spotlights and a bunch of people watching, a bunch of critics, and you can't get in the right frame of mind. It's kind of like doing something everyone, like sleeping. Everyone can sleep, but can you get on stage and sleep in front of 2,000 people? Probably not. That doesn't mean you can't sleep. So it's that sort of thing. So I wanted to be all nonchalant about it. And my wife and I were in Columbia, and we got his address pulled up, and we went to his office, and we were going to do a little telekinesis hooked up to his biofeedback machine. And the place was closed. He moved to Oregon like the week before. Yeah. So that never happened. But anyway, that's kind of why he's chuckling there, because we can measure that. It was exactly the game plan. I was going to do some telekinesis, and we were going to see what happened. I'm real cognate, and I'm using my bifocal vision and all that stuff. Nothing's going to happen. You know, it does have something to do with your energy, your mindset, and your emotions. Anyway, that's a pretty informative little video there. If you guys want to check that out, it's on my channel. I forgot the name of it. What do we call it? A Conversation with a Psychologist, Dr. Jeff Tarrant. Pretty cool dude. What else we got in 2024? Oh yeah. So after several years of these people contacting me, wanting me to take a look at their fancy little gadget they call the Eggly Wheel, they finally just sent me one for free. So here, just try it out, make a video, and if you like it, we'll set up a little store for you and promote it. And if you don't like it, well, you got a free Eggly Wheel. So they sent me one, and by golly, I checked it out. And here's a little bit of the demonstration. Hi guys, Trebor Seven here, back with part 2 of the Eggly Wheel review. I have put in about 30 days of messing with this thing and read the very informative and helpful 80 some odd page pamphlet, and I took a look at. Anyway, well, let's go straight to the demonstration in the book. And actually, I found it quite counterproductive for quite a while. It was a good challenge, kept me busy for, I don't know, I didn't log how many days, but over a week. I messed with several different, ways of moving it, and both hands thing was just, it seemed like I was fighting against myself. I feel like the energy comes from the center or lower portion of my palm, and my right hand, of course, wants it to go right, and my left hand wants it to go left. So it seemed like it was a struggle using both hands. And honestly, since you can't really see exactly what's happening, I wonder if I wasn't just shutting down one hand and letting the other one do the best it could. So I put a link to my little Eggly Wheel store in the chat as well, if you want to take a look at that. And I get a little commission, no extra cost to you, but these things are awesome. They're a great machine, and not only for practicing and measuring telekinetic energy, but as demonstrated in this, well, I'll share that little portion too. Hey, this is my video. We can't get in trouble for sharing this. It also works good just as a vitality meter for someone who doesn't even know anything about telekinesis. It can kind of read the amount of chi or vitality in your body. I never really felt like I got that circuit going, where I'm using the energy of, you'd think you use one hand, you get it so fast, use two hands, you should be able to double that. But that's certainly not the experience that I had. And I'm not done with it. I mean, I'm going to continue messing with this thing, but I'm showing you the best I had on film at the moment. So anyway, using two hands was one of the suggestions, and they also suggested you could use multiple people, which I haven't had a chance to try that, and still haven't. Although I have loaned this to a few people and people who don't necessarily do telekinesis, just to measure their vitality and chi. And I tell you, most people are way down in the low range. Doing meditation, eating a somewhat healthy alkaline diet, doing one or more of the following: grounding, sun gazing, qigong, stretching, energy work, yoga, etc., makes a world of difference in our vitality. And this machine right here will measure it for you. I've had a couple more people, my neighbor, for one, put their hand around it, knowing nothing about telekinesis. Just told him it's a vitality meter. It tells you, if you're alive or not. And he put his hand around it, and it got up around 6, without trying or anything. So I think it works on more than just one level. Let's take a look at that. Here's the biofeedback, and I kind of explain the application a little different. We're going to switch back to raw audio for the biofeedback portion. Here we go. Okay, so here's another application. I found that if I just place my left hand near the machine and engage my left brain, i.e. talking, reading, just thinking in general, and do not pay any attention to the wheel whatsoever, it'll give you a basic, just straight biofeedback. You can see it kind of stays pretty steady, and if I can keep my mind off the wheel, that's about where it stays. So there you go. Okay, last and least, in my opinion, under glass, no hands. That wasn't suggested in the book for good reason. It's a biofeedback machine, and you separate the body from the machine. Not a very wise move. But that was one of the comments, hey, if it's really PK, you should be able to do it under glass, no hands, no problem. That sounds good from somebody who doesn't do PK, because it's empathy, mindset, and energy. And energy needs a medium to flow through. So as soon as you put it in a container, you're only working with a small portion of the puzzle. But nonetheless, I'm doing this to appease them, and we'll go back to what the wonderful book has to say. Anyway, you can check that out in its entirety. And yes, I do get it to spin under glass, no hands, from about 1.5 feet away. But to me, that's nothing. I mean, who cares? If you can do telekinesis out in the open, that's fine by me. You don't have to have it under glass. It's like saying, "Oh, I'm a good singer." "Oh, really? Let's hear you sing underwater." Stupid, you know? But that's something skeptics have to have. They have to have the controlled environment where there's no way something could be blowing on it or cheating. Dude, there's no way I would cheat videos for 13 years or however long I've been doing. That would be horrible. I can't imagine a person doing that. But anyway, that little thing right there was strictly for the skeptics. That's not how that machine was intended to be used. And I don't recommend it. Let's pop back over to the chat and see if there's any more wisdom or questions. Okay, yeah, there's that thing I shared, the link to that. Have you known about witchcraft or alchemy? Those are also like they're connected to telekinesis, psychokinesis. Yeah, I looked into, well, Wicca. I guess that's a form of witchcraft. But yeah, I've looked into that, and I'm really interested in the everything occult. So of course I've read and watched a lot of videos on witchcraft, black magic, white magic, that sort of thing. Um, I've dabbled in alchemy, or making ormus is a form of alchemy. So I practice alchemy on a regular basis in that way. In no way consider myself an alchemist per se, but yes, I'm very much into the wisdom of alchemy. And what was the other one? I also feel like they're connected to. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And there is sort of a connection between all of those crafts, I would say. What else we got? By the way, I love your content. You shared so much. Oh, thank you, man. Appreciate your saying that on the chat. You're very welcome. And then I shared the link to that Eggly wheel right there, which was just spiritualmaker.com/Trebor7, one word. And that'll take you to my little store, and you can learn a lot more about the Eggly wheel. Trebor, I want to know if you have improved your mind sight. I want to learn how to activate my mind sight because I want to see if those of us who practice TKA are able to see energy. So here's the thing. I worked on that pretty steady for several weeks and started having somewhat success, greater than 50%. So I was going to make a video about it, and then my camera shot craps on me, and I sent it off. Now I did get my camera back. It is fixed. However, I'm working like 3 jobs now. And the nighttime was always the time I practiced my PK. And now I work from like 2:30 in the afternoon till like anywhere up to 2:30 a.m. I mean, I don't have a lot of spare time in the evenings anymore. I want to. And yeah, I've had some success at it, but I need to go watch some tutorials and see if there's other techniques, because the technique I'm using is almost identical to the way I do ESP cards. I just wait for a little flash, and it's just sometimes I catch the color and sometimes I don't. And the way I've been practicing it was I have this ESP deck, and it has colored cards with the 5 standard symbols, So I just took out all the red zeros and or circles and all the blue circles and like that, and just worked with that, where I wasn't trying to look at particular shapes, just trying to catch the color. And like I said, I was hitting greater than 50%. So that definitely means I was doing something. It's greater than chance, but I don't know. I'm not really in a position to make a video on it yet. And I don't foresee it in the immediate near future, but hopefully I'll find some time to get back into this sort of thing. I haven't even done telekinesis in probably 3 weeks. What else we got? We use energy to do different types of psychokinesis just by feeling the energy, but it would be amazing to be able to see the energy and be able to use it better. I agree. And I've had some people say they can see my energy, even on videos and stuff. I can't see it. Now, way back in the day, when I was into that sort of thing, I did get to see what some people call the background energy. Like through a certain meditation, you can see that there's sort of a background medium that's creating this, sort of like the Matrix, where it's a stream of numbers, except it's not a stream of numbers. It's more like, what I saw was more like static, sort of like a snowy, like when a television has no signal, that snow you get. It was sort of like that. So I think I did get to see beyond what normal eyesight can see, but I can't explain what it is. But yeah, I agree 100%. And hopefully there's technology coming. There's I forget what it was. On one of our live streams, Ricky brought up a camera that used mirrors and something else. I can't remember what it was called. I had to go back. It was one of the early live streams. Oh, that's something else. Yeah, I haven't talked about our guests that we had on the live streams in 2024. We can kill a few more minutes with that. But anyway, back to what I was saying. A camera that kind of showed energy. So maybe we're on our way to finding something that will let us be able to see that. That would be awesome. Trying to learn by watching videos on YouTube channel of Wendy Gallant and Rob Freeman and still not see nothing. Okay, I don't know who those people are. Are they MindSight people or are they PK practitioners? Or not sure who those people are. But yeah, YouTube is open source. I mean, you can find good information on there and you can find misinformation on there. It's up to us to discern truth. Luciano says, is there a good method to quiet your mind for deep meditation? Yeah, well, I mean, it just takes practice. But my little trick is focusing on one thing, like a mental image or a chant or a mantra, because the closest thing to emptying your mind is having it focused on just one thing. A lot of people use their breath. Focus on your breath. How cool and crisp and dry the air is coming in your nostrils and how warm and moist it is coming out of your nostril. And just keeping your mind focused on one thing is a huge step in the right direction. Okay, a couple more, and then we're going to go back to reminiscing. They are MindSight people, Wendy Gallard and Rob Freeman. Yeah, okay, cool. I will make note of those names and check them out because I need to kind of see what the actual technique is for doing this. I'm sort of an adventurous when it comes to psychic abilities. I like to just try things my own way and makes it more interesting. Still teaching telekinesis. Watched you in 2016 when I was 15 years old. Remember trying to make Ormus with your video tutorial. Ah, cool. Man, yeah, time flies. 15 years we've been at this. Man, that seems weird. Okay, what else happened in the old 2024 timeline for Trebor Seven? I remember this. You guys remember this?
The symbol on the card. In this video, Robert draws a card and attempts to match it without looking to its mate in the cards that are displayed for the camera.
This was a Tubi documentary, and that was kind of cool, just to be stumbling through channels on your TV and come across and find a documentary. Oh, this looks interesting, and find out that you're in it. That was kind of cool.
As you can see, Robert is not always correct, but he continues to move through the cards as he senses the shapes and the pile they should be placed in. This time he's correct. So to limit the possibility of Robert seeing the cards in any way, he ups the ante and blindfolds himself while finishing the remainder of the deck. Using only his intuition to guide him, he continues to match the symbols on the Zener cards he pulls to the ones set up in front of the camera. But does he see enough of the symbols correctly to indicate ESP? Now, if these cards were picked by random chance, the average would be to get 20% correct with no psychic ability whatsoever. But astoundingly, Robert gets 24 out of 35, or almost 70% of the Zener card symbols correct, meaning he passes the test accuracy 3 times that of random guesses.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Look at me gloating with a big smile. When it comes to humility, I am the greatest. I shared the link to that video in the chat as well, if you'd like to go check out that out. And then I did something I never thought I would do. Charged money for watching my videos. I don't know if you've noticed, but my videos are non-monetized. I make $0 from the videos I upload to YouTube. And I decided that on day one, that I was going to share this truth about telekinesis with the world, that anyone could learn. You don't have to have money. All you have to have is connection to internet and YouTube, and voila, you can watch my videos. But I decided to open up the old members videos and thought I would just, break it down and have some interaction with people who wanted that sort of interaction, the one-on-one type stuff, and share some more insight on top of what I've shared at treborseven.com. So if you haven't been to treborseven.com, you can find 7 tutorials, private tutorials, for a one-time small fee of $17. So you can have access to those forever, or as long as Vimeo lasts, I guess. But there's a lot of good insight on there. But about 9 months or so after this, I decided to just share these videos with the public. So you can find these videos on my channel as well. They just say members videos. And I think there was, gosh, I forget. I guess I could go look. I don't know. I think there was 5, 6. I don't remember. I guess there's only like 4 that I shared. There's a couple more in the members section, and some other info and stuff that, of course, was just for members only. We did some live streams, which I didn't share those. And anyway, it was kind of cool. I had, I don't know, 7 or 8 people that actually joined after doing a survey that said there would be like 40 or 50 people joining. But you know how it is. It's way easier to say something than it is to do something. But anyway, in these videos, I just shared the parts of the videos I usually cut out. Everything that's in black and white is the stuff I usually cut out of videos, which was the case for me getting started here. But it does even out. Takes time, takes practice. Got to take the fails with the success and try not to let it get to you emotionally. There, I was trying the little ghost tap, I guess, if I had to verbalize it. Just there's a little arsenal of different techniques, but when it's really working, it seems effortless and smooth and very rewarding. So here we go. We got a balance, spreading our awareness, focusing more on the energy around, a little less empathy, and we got it. But again, it felt sort of incomplete. Anyway, those videos are kind of cool and very helpful addition to people who were watching my tutorials and stuff. So if you're trying to learn telekinesis, watching these memory videos could be very, very helpful. Let's pop back over to the chat real quick. Oh, and I got to share the joke of the day. I haven't done that yet. Oh, here we go. Somebody new. I believe aliens marked my car with dozens and dozens of concentric circles on the layer of dust that had accumulated. Okay, I don't know what to say about that. And why would you think it's aliens? I'm not sure. Sort of like the what are they called? Crop circles. You are totally badass. Well, thank you, Luciano R17. Likewise, I'm sure. JT says, every one of them is completely unique with a different number of rings and arrangements, all sizes from 2mm to 3" in total diameter. Do you have video or photos? Jeff Hardy says, I continue to be impressed by your work. I've started to do some consciousness research and will soon work with an EEG headband during meditation and Qigong. Have you used external measuring devices? Other than the Egley wheel, no. Like I said, I had planned to do that with Jeff Tarrant. We were going to hook me up to a biofeedback machine. It never happened. And I've had a guy that's been commenting on my videos lately. Oh, why are you doing these videos? Why don't you just go straight to the scientists and just prove it once and for all that it's real? As if it hasn't already been scientifically validated since like 1940s. These are just people who do zero research, watch a video, and then just spew out the first thing that comes to their mind. I'm not here to prove it to the world. I'm here to inspire people to learn and hopefully help them remember how to do it, with my tutorials and stuff. Me going on stage or winning some contest or going in and pissing off a bunch of scientists is the bottom of my list. Have you ever astral projected? So I've been outside of my body, like I've seen my body sleeping, but it was kind of freaky, to be perfectly honest. It was a good experience, and it gave me the life lesson that we're not our body. Our consciousness leaves these meat suits when it's all said and done. But no, I wouldn't say I'm a professional astral projector or anything, but I have dabbled in it. It's very cool. Have you ever astral traveled before? Okay. I think that was kind of the same question because I have the same answer. Let's go to joke of the day. And when I popped this in here, I had a bad feeling I may have already told this one, so I apologize if I had. Today's joke. What did Sushi A say to Sushi B? Wasabi. Get it? Wasabi. Okay. Back to events. What happened? Oh, okay. So this one will be easy. Here's all my telekinesis demonstrations from 2024 wrapped up in one cute little 4-minute video. And, what's 4 minutes? Let's watch it. What do you say? And I'm going to keep the audio down just because it has a copyrighted music in it. But anyway, we're going to watch this. I'm going to go full screen on that. And when you boil it all down, gosh, Trevor, didn't seem like you did much this year. Well, I've been a busy beaver. And like I said, this is just a small portion of my life. I'm not Mr. Telekinesis guy, period. I wear a lot of hats, have a lot of obligations, and dabble in a lot of different things. And I think that's the way it should be. Keep your life balanced. Try not to. I have a bad habit of being OCD on stuff. Sometimes I'll get into something and just obsess with it, and that's all I want to do 24/7. And as I get older, I've kind of learned to overcome that and spread myself out a little better, broaden my horizons. And also, when you start getting up there in age, you need to start learning new skills and doing different things to keep your mind from going into atrophy. So I learned a lot of different things. This summer I did market farming, which farming is not entirely new to me, but on a large scale, it was kind of a learning experience and definitely kept me busy. I had a partner, but basically did 90% of the work myself. So I would spend the majority of my days working on the farm, and then, of course, trying to squeeze in some family time, and then a little bit of the psychic time, and then, of course, make videos for you guys. So in the grand scheme of things, this was a pretty good year. This is one of my favorite videos. Now, it turned out I ended up getting into a little run-in with a guy named Simon Dan who thought he could debunk this with words. But other than that, this was one of my favorite demonstrations of 2024. And again, just using rolling targets. Make sure I'm unmuted. Yes, I am. That'd have been terrible. Rolling targets are the best because you can get initiate one move and you get a whole bunch of movement. Like that right there was just one good pull, but it went like, a couple feet. Really makes you feel like you're doing more than you are. You notice my eyes are closed, practically closed. That's so I don't get my left brain activated too much. I try not to focus. The less you focus, the easier it is for energy to flow. That's why I always kind of have that sleepy, dazed look on my face. Just trying not to engage my bifocal vision and left brain, basically, is the reason for that. Yeah, this was kind of a weird one. And it looks cool, but if I showed you how long I sat there waiting and pulling, trying to get that thing to collapse, you'd be like, dude, that's the most boring demonstration I've ever seen. So I cut it down all into like little 3 or 4 second clips. But in reality, I'd sit there for like 2 to 3 minutes or so a lot of times. And sometimes I got some quicker than others, but that was a lot of waiting. And then the old maraca thing, that was kind of just a spur of the moment deal. Of course, I've had those maracas for years. I always like working with targets, that I've handled a lot. And then the blindfolded part was just something to make it a little different. Spice it up, make sure it wasn't all visual. Although I do think a lot of our chi comes out of our eyes. So maybe there's better techniques than I'm using, but that's the way I do it. Oh, I mentioned our live stream. So we had Ruby. Remember Ruby came on and did a live stream. I made some clips out of that. He talked about Negong and his school and stuff. We had David Weiss come on and talk about flat Earth. Hands down, my most popular live stream, 2,000 and some odd views. We had Rose 777 on. We talked about conspiracies and other things. And Ken Jolly. Remember Ken Jolly, a guy who does interviews on PK practitioners and kind of talked about the rise and fall of his channel. We had the little run-in with Simon Dan. I did some videos about him. We had Karen B on. We talked about occulted creatures and hidden powers and just all things kind of weird. That was one of our weird world things. And gosh, I think that's about it on the 2024. So what's coming in the future? Well, here's something I could share with you. Let me remove that and make me a little bigger. There we go. So those of you who are Ormish users, we have some new labels coming out in 2025. So this was the Logos. Remember that one? If I can get rid of that glare. Kind of had the Ouroboros. Why can't I focus on that? There we go. So we're going from that to this, which is the flower of life. Let me know. What do you think? You like it? Or the tree of life, excuse me. Logos, going from the Ouroboros to tree of life. And then I had the Peruvian man on here, and a lot of people thought that looked like a pentagram or something. So I'm changing Messiah from this deep purple Peruvian, however you say that, man, to the blue moon. I think that looks cool. So Messiah bottle will be the same great content, made exactly the same way I've been making it for all these years. And since I always make Messiah under the full moon, I thought it was appropriate to put the old full moon on the label. So I do have some of the old labels left. So this may be, a month or two down the road when you start seeing changes in your Ormus bottles. What else? I think that's about it. I'll go back and check the chat, and then we'll probably just tie a bow on this bad boy because I've run out of content. Oh, we might take a go look at Ricky. My man Ricky, Mad Cat Sphere has been messing with some levitation of dandelion seeds, which I'm envious. I haven't even had time to turn a freaking side wheel in the last few months, but anyway, that's kind of cool. We might take a look at that. I really want to delve into it a little deeper when he's here and available to talk about it. But looks like we got about 7 minutes left, so we might go take a look at that after we finish these chats. Oh, here where were we? What do you think of Nostradamus? I don't know. Hit and miss. I assume you're talking about his predictions and stuff. They're kind of vague. I don't know. I don't think the future is entirely predictable. I think it's malleable. So, and if you make enough predictions and make them vague enough, you can say, oh, see, he predicted that. I might be stupid. He may be way better at that than I'm giving him credit for. That's my thought. For me, I think intentions might be the key to TK because it's our awareness. I believe so. This feels unexplainable, but TK also works through intelligence, right? I think it's a different, I don't know if intelligence is the right word. I do agree intentions plays a role in it. However, I found people that are highly intelligent, they have a harder time balancing their hemispheres of their brain. Your left brain is for cognitive function and your right brain is for imagination and creativity. And a lot of times people who are super smart have a hard time subduing the right brain. So I don't know. I don't know if intelligence is the right word for that. Some Buddha statues have that eyes closed look. Yeah, that's kind of that dream state or the emptiness state. Do you think the Giza pyramids were built with telekinesis? What is the reason we can't telekinesis larger objects in mass? So I think part of telekinesis is the energy part. And perhaps if we had enough people, practitioners all focusing on the same thing, we could do something. I don't know. Those stones on the pyramid are massive. But do I think telekinesis was used to build pyramids? No, I really don't. I think it's levitation technology that we've lost and rock cutting laser technology that we've lost. Who's that guy? I think he's in Florida who built the castles. I think he tapped into that same energy manipulation for levitation that they used on the pyramids. I just think the pyramids were built by a more advanced civilization than us, not necessarily extraterrestrials, but I don't know. I don't know. We all think we're on the cutting edge of technology, but I think really we're kind of in the dark ages. If you go look into the old world order stuff, they've tried to hide a lot of this technology. And I don't know. That's a very good question. That remains a mystery. Public schools should teach kids to grow fruits and veggies. Dude, I am totally down with that. Yeah, and just kind of make half their classes whatever it is they like. Like, I think I want to be a musician, so teach this guy music, and I want to be an artist, so you teach this guy, art. And so I agree 100%. They don't teach us skills that we can use. They just indoctrinate us and prepare us for a life of ignorance and slavery, basically. Indoctrination. Now, there's good things about school, and I'm glad we have schools, but yeah, they're not really keeping us life skills. How many times have you referred back to your high school education to make it through an everyday event? Very seldom. Maybe a little math. David says, hey to all. Hey, Dave. Thanks for being here. I don't get the negative connotation with the pentagram. Yeah, I know it really just stands for man, but a lot of people associate that with witchcraft. Anyway, it's time for a change. I just changed the labels, not necessarily just for that reason, but just to make it a little different. I've had the same label. Oh, and by the way, I mentioned I was going to raise my prices. Well, I found a way around that. So if you order supplements for me and you're used to getting them via priority USPS, which I only use USPS. I think the post office is a great thing. It's reliable, it's affordable, and it's for everyone. Whereas it's not a private company where one person's getting rich or anything. It's just anyway, I'm all for the United States Post Office. So that's why I use them exclusively. But if you live in pretty much anywhere in the United States, you can get a package sent. It's called Ground Select. That'll get it to you within 3 days, which priority is 2 to 3 days. So I can get it to you in the same amount of time for a few dollars less, and I avoided having to raise the price on my products. So if you're used to getting your products in a USPS, sometimes you might get it in a brown box instead of a priority box. No big deal, but you didn't have to pay any more. I didn't have to raise my prices. And I think that's great. I've had the same prices for years. And I think I'm proud to say that I don't raise my prices very often. Last chat comment. Yeah, intelligent doesn't fit quite well with TK. Have you heard of hypnosis? It's like a power of hypnotizing people. Yeah. And I've been in groups where they tried to hypnotize us and I didn't get hypnotized. But that is a real thing. And again, it's just another form of psychic abilities. Hypnotizing someone is very similar to doing doing anything psychic, you know, whether it's remote viewing or ESP cards or whatever it may be. Oh, I didn't know my snow wasn't falling. We got to let that snow fall. Hope we don't get any more snow. I'm already sitting on about 10 inches. Okay, one last thing. Let's go watch a couple of these. And Ricky, if you're watching, hope you can come back and join us soon. Ricky kind of moved, and he was kind of my co-host for quite a while. And he's been kind of busy and unable to join us. But I will put a link to his channel. Let me go back to the comment section. Bada bing, bada boom. There's a link to Ricky's channels, his shorts in particular, where you'll find these levitation videos. And what he's doing is working with, oh, I got to share screen so you guys can see. Screen share. What he's been doing is levitating these little pieces of dandelion. Technically, it's the seed of a dandelion, which I'd be hard-pressed to find this time of year. These are shorts, so I can't make it real big, but let me make sure. Yes, you're seeing what I'm seeing. We'll watch one or two of these at random. Let's start with this one.
Float and levitate on a sitting still position. Right now it's floating up in the air right here. With my chi energy and focus, telekinesis right there is going to float back. You're going to see right there. And it's all real, guys. You know, I've already shown everything around me in other videos. And that dandelion down there is to show that if there was any air, it would be moving right there. So it wasn't the whole time. It's all real, guys. Take care.
And another one.
This other fluff is in the red circle to prove that there's no air. I'm not cheating or nothing like that. Right now, the fluff is going in the air. You can see the arrows pointing at it. My energy, my chi energy is moving it. My telekinesis is moving it. If you follow the arrows, you'll follow the fluff going into the air. I'm holding it up into the air, sustaining its levitation, and it's floating. It went up high, now went back down. You can see where the arrows is. Follow where the arrows are at. Look very closely. You can see right there it's coming down a little bit. And if you count, it'll be 48 seconds full. 47, 48 seconds. Just follow the arrows and you'll see the fluff and look very closely. This is the longest levitation ever that I've captured on camera. I've done it without hands near it too, with my hands down near me. But this one was the one that I got that was a good angle and a good position and everything. So I'm gonna grab the fluff, it fell off. But if you look at the fluff, it didn't move.
Very cool, Ricky. I'm envious. And I messed with ashes and dandelion seeds way back in like 2015, 2016. And the only success I had was like lifting it. Of course, I'm better at pulling than pushing, and it looks like he's kind of using a pushing technique. So I definitely want to pick his brain about that when the time comes for him to rejoin us on the old live stream. Speaking of live streams, I think that's going to about do it for us, guys. Let me check the comment one more time, make sure there's no more new comments. So we're going to wrap this up, put a bow on it. And I appreciate you guys watching. I'll be back hopefully on the 7th next month. If not, we'll do the 17th or the 27th or something. But hey, kudos to you for surviving another year of 2024. And let's thrive in 2025. In the meantime, take good care of your body, follow your spirit, and